Rummy X back into the video. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video, though it should be warned that within this video my voice may get a little bit shaky. Let's just say, been dealing with a sore throat for the past, I don't know, week at this point. It is getting a little bit better, but in the video there may be some cuts or my voice may change a little. With that being said, this is what if Naruto had a sister. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, as it would be deeply appreciated. Obviously, join my Discord server in the description down below. And there are also links to support the channel in various other ways in the description down below. With that being said, we can now begin the video. A sub would also be appreciated, as I want 25k before Christmas. We begin the story off 10 years earlier. Minato and Kushina are both going to be aged up 10 years, meaning that Naruto will be born directly at the same time, but his mother and father will just be 10 years older than they were in the actual canon. With that being said, this 10 years is vital, as there is a 10 to 9 year age difference between Naruto's sister, Haruno, and Naruto, who, well, we obviously know as Naruto. With that being said, this difference is quite substantial, and when deciding on how old Naruto's sister was, it definitely was hard. I didn't know if I wanted to make it be a 1 to 2 year difference, make them really be like brother and sister, or a 5-year difference, or in this case, a 9 to 10 year difference. Anyways, I decided with the third option, and this is how the story has turned out. With that being said, we can fully begin the video. We start the story off with a blonde-haired woman shackled in chains within a prison. The prison was big and all black. In the night, you could barely see it, if it weren't for the lights surrounding the building. With that being said, it should be noted that this prison was for ninja. Ninja who had broken the rules. A ninja prison for those who had abandoned commands or chose comrades over the goal of the mission. Naruto's sister, Haruno, was kept here for disobeying a command set to retrieve a certain object for the Leaf Village. It was this object that would bring about a great realization. But, due to the unfortunate circumstance of this object being found, no realization ever came out of it. Only about a 10-year sentence for Haruno. This sentence was extended to 12 years after bad behavior, which in this case was Haruno helping another inmate, giving them her rations, her food, so that they could survive. Thing is, this other inmate, well, they were specifically being starved, and thus 2 more years were added on to her sentence, meaning that she now served 12 years within this ninja prison. Now, we can truly begin. With that, Haruno sits within her cell, as her cell would be opened so that she could walk to what would be known as the cafeteria of the prison. It would be here in this cafeteria that she would, say, venture to, eating as she usually did. She didn't have much, just some water, occasionally a form of orange juice or apple juice, bread, a loaf of bread to be exact, which was usually stale or molding. And beside that, a small dessert, like a small chocolate fudge or a little bit of ice cream. With that being said, if she was lucky, she also happened to get a banana. That was just because the people within the jail were being nice to her, as they knew that at heart she was good, that she was a good person, that unlike most of the people serving time within the cell, she hadn't done anything truly wrong. All she really did was protect her own ideologies, fight for what she stood for, and, well, overall, never give up. With that being said, we now have a time skip of 12 years. This makes Haruno 24 years old. You see, Haruno had been placed within the prison at 12 years old. She was a special jonin at this time, and the village had been going through a bit of a rough patch, so to speak. To be exact, they were actually in a major war. With that being said, Haruno's father would later save the village from said war. But the damage was already done. She had already not followed the rules and had been sent to the prison for punishment. Her sentence was going to be 24 years long in the first place, which is oddly ironic due to the fact that she was 24 years old when her prison sentence finally ended. But, with that being said, they switched it, reduced it even, cut the time in half, and even chipped off a little bit after that, making her sentence over 10 years. With that being said, that was only due to the efforts that her father had, I guess you could say, done to ensure that the Leaf had won the war. With that being said, she obviously added 2 more years to her own sentence for what they deemed to be bad behavior, though this was what she deemed to be doing the right thing. It should be known that Haruno, upon leaving the prison, had a smile on her face. Determination. That's what filled her mind. She wanted to get out so bad, and now she was there, on grass, on land, looking at the trees, the sky, breathing in the air, and feeling the warmth of the sun on her cold skin, which hadn't seen real sunlight in 12 years. Do you know what that does to a woman? Haruno would say, as a prison guard who accommodated her walked. What do you mean? Well, it changes one, and it also makes them have new goals, things to aspire to do, or even things to find. You know, before coming here, my mother and father, they were just having a child. So that's my new goal. To find my baby bro, you know? To find your baby bro, like your little brother. Yeah. Well, if it's true what you say, that your mother and father were about to have a baby when you were locked away here, then does that mean that your brother is 12 years old now, or 11? Yeah, one of the two. I'm actually not quite sure. I've never met the guy. And if records are right, since you've been here for 12 years, I would know. Your mother's name is Kushina Uzumaki, the former Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, and your father? The 4th Hokage. Former. Does she no longer have the Biju within her? No. Unfortunately, the fate of your mother was much more grim. Gruesome, even. She died, protecting the village with her last efforts. But she died the same. What about father? He also died. With your brother, or what I assume to be your little brother, Naruto Uzumaki, surviving, being put to be an orphan, I believe, and becoming the new Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. I have a kid. He's actually in the academy. And if Naruto is as well, then he's just about to graduate. So maybe you could show up for his graduation or something like that. Huh. I see. So my little brother was orphaned. My mother and father were killed, protecting the Leaf Village. The same Leaf Village that put me away here for 12 whole years. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I really have no words. Nothing to say to that. Because the only thing I care about now is finding my little brother, Naruto Uzumaki. Haruno would quickly disappear and reappear. It would be then that she would sigh. I kind of got off in a hurry. You forgot to undo my shackles. The one on my ankle, not my hands. Ah, I see. Honest mistake. Sorry about that, Haruno. And you're fast, especially for someone who's been here for so long. I've set free a lot of people from this prison during my time working here. But a lot were more decrepit, I should say. Well, I'm young. I'm not frail and old like most of the geezers that get locked up here. Yeah, you're right. Haruno's shackles would be undone, as she would then use the body flicker jutsu to race towards the Leaf Village. Or rather, in this case, just run towards it. It would be on the way to the Leaf Village that she would see a black crow cross her path. When she saw this crow, her mind immediately remembered a time where, instead of being out in the open as she was now, you could even say in a part of the wilderness, nature even. Instead, her mind took her to a time months prior, years prior. A time where she had been locked away and had met a man named Guy. Guy, the crow. Now, you see, Guy was special in the way that he possessed a Kekkei of sorts that allowed him to control crows, to become a crow, and to do many other things with that. With that being said, Guy was locked away in the most secure part of the prison, away from everybody. But once a year of each new year, Guy was allowed to step outside of his solitary confinement, to put it lightly. And when he did nothing short of party, kill, and watch. What I mean by that is he would, well, party, as I said, have fun, as while it was the new year, kill, as in he would get riled up. And by riled him up, I really just mean get him angry. And a lot of things made Guy angry. You could say that he got really irritated quickly. With that being said, the last one was that he would watch people. The people in the prison. Each year they would get a select amount of new people to join their ranks, so to speak. And Guy would immediately scout these people out. See who was the strongest of the strong. He would confront them, sometimes if they were strong enough, and ask them to help him escape from the prison. None of them had the guts to say yes. They feared what would happen if they were to escape. But Guy, he did not fear what would happen if he were to escape. He relished in it. Being hunted, he liked that. Killing the predator, he also enjoyed that. By that, killing the predator just means killing the people who are hunting him. With that being said, Guy had confronted Haruno one day, asking her if she would accompany him to leave the prison. Asking her if she would help him break out. With that being said, she almost always said no or gave him answers that leaded to a no. But with her recent release and the sign of a crow, all her mind could think of was Guy. And thus she continued to walk, but this time with severe amounts or rather high amounts of caution. Each step she took, she was scared that Guy would appear and attack her. And it was there that she was right. On the 18th next step that she took after seeing the crow, it was there that Guy appeared. Hello, Haruna. No. How am I here? Is that what you were going to ask? Well, I will answer that question for you, Haruna. I'm here because, well, to put it lightly, sorry, I had a yawn. I broke out. You broke out? Of the prison? Of course I did. If you were gonna be released, I kind of had to. Only fitting, since I did ask you to put it lightly, break out, didn't I? Don't you remember that night? I killed, the Black Cat's Haruko. I think he was a mist ninja, really powerful, they say, back in his quote-unquote heyday. Of course I remember. Haruko was kind. And he didn't deserve to be there. Do you think any of us deserve to be there? Do you think any of us committed crimes so harsh that we should be sent there of all places? Most of the ninja in there? No, not at all. But some of them. Like Yugi? Yeah, 100%. So feisty. I don't believe that you should have this amount of, to put it lightly, spice. You are an ex-con, aren't you? An ex-con? Do you even know why I was put into prison in the first place, Guy? No, but I am dying to hear why. Why was it, Haruka? I am quite curious. Well, it wouldn't even matter if I told you. But let's just say it was family business. Family business. Are you an orphan? No, but if I was, that'd be none of your concern. Well, actually, it'd be all of my concern. You know that the crow must take on, or rather in, all what? All orphans. By crow, are you referring to the posh group that you created within the walls of the prison? Yes, that's precisely what I'm referring to. Side note, within the prison, it acted on its own, like a village of its own, in a way. And thus, in every village, in some parts at least, and with some people, they have faith. Faith in what? It can be anything. Power, money. But there is also a third that some people, and actually a lot of people, have faith in. And it is religion. Within the prison, there was a religion. For inmates, of course. For people who had done diabolical things. And, sorry, I just got sidetracked when I said diabolical. I don't know why. That just made me think of, like, diabolical and devious licks. But besides that, back to the video. I'm so sorry. With that being said, these people that worshipped a religion were crows. That's what they called themselves, at least. And the god that they worshipped was Guy himself. With that being said, Guy went on. And thus I think I've every right to hear about your little family business. Unless it doesn't have to relate to death, but I've found that nearly everything in life relates to death in some way or another, doesn't it? Haruno. You're wrong. Not everything relates to death. You bore me, Haruno. I'm getting sick of this conversation. And so I think that you and I should have ourselves a friendly little duel. A friendly little duel. Well, I don't know about you, but I think that that would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Actually, I completely disagree. I think that'd be horrible, and I do not want to have a quote-unquote friendly duel with you. You got that? Is that understood? No, because I believe that we should have a friendly duel. You and I, the two of us, dancing with our blades. Oh wait, I forgot. They took your little, what was it, orange and pink blade away the moment that you entered that prison. Yeah, so take a hint and understand that I don't have my sword, so no fight is to be had. Well, that would be a shame. If on my way out of the prison I didn't grab your blade. You see, they keep all of the weapons and belongings that they take from a prisoner in a special room that they call the customs room. I've been around for what? 8 years now in that prison? So obviously I know the ins and outs. And I wasn't always kept in solitary confinement. So for about, what, 2 of those years, I had been learning all about the prison for my grand and great escape. Isn't that right? I suppose it was pretty great since you're here now. But why does that matter? They do not give everything back to inmates, especially not weapons. When they leave, that is. Obviously, in the prison, you're not allowed to have your belongings sometimes. But they most definitely do not give inmates back their weapons sometimes, when they become free men or women or people. But instead, they keep them, because sometimes some people whose weapons have been taken away, well, those people, they are too dangerous to have their weapons. Luckily for me, they did not get to take away too many of my quote-unquote weapons, because I, myself, am the weapon. I am the one who can transform myself into a crow. I am the one who can control crows. I am the one who can become a flock. But my blade, the raven, well, it could do many things. And your blade, I believe it was known as the Orange Fox. Right, Haruno? Well, let's just say the Raven and the Orange Fox were both retrieved on my way out of that hellhole. What? You have my blade? Of course I do. I wouldn't challenge you to a fight. I do have dignity, Haruno. Well, I wouldn't challenge you to a fight if I didn't know you had your weapon. Guy would pass Haruno, the Orange Fox, otherwise known as Haruno's sword. Haruno grasped onto her sword as she tightly held it in her palm. With that, she pointed her blade outwards towards Guy. With that being said, Guy would laugh. The moment you get a hold of your precious little fox is the moment that you use it, point it at a lonely crow. How evil of you, Haruno. Well, you're not really giving me much of a choice here to have a tea party with you, are you, Guy? You're right, I suppose. I am not giving you that camaraderie. Now come and face me! Haruno would disappear and reappear, this time with her sword now pointed directly to Crow's back. Crow is Gi, and he can be referred to as Crow, Gi, or really anything that has to do with a crow. With that being said, I will merely be referring to him as Crow or Gi or Raven, if only in a metaphorical way. With that being said, Haruno now pointed her blade towards Gi's back. Gi would smirk, as his face would immediately grow cold. Straight-faced, he would say, "Really? This is what you plan on doing? Taking my life as soon as I get out of that hellhole. Taking my life as soon as I get out of prison. You point a blade where the very scars that they gave me lie." Huh? The scars that they gave you? I've only described that place as a hellhole or a prison. Nothing more, nothing less. Do I really have to show you why? Cut my garments. Cut the back of my shirt. And look at the scars that I was brandished with, Haruno. You'll see exactly why I've wanted to escape that place the moment I was placed in solitary. What? Haruno would quickly slash the back of Crow, or Gi, or even the Raven. And with that, with her X slashed, shaped, cut across Crow's shirt, it revealed multiple scars, all varying lengths. But it was clear that these scars had come from a whip. Crow would sigh. Is that enough reason for you not to stab me in the back? Or do I have to give you more reason to believe that killing me that way wouldn't do you any good? That killing me that way would bring you nothing and bring me only pain, suffering to the highest degree. You're trying to play on my heartstrings here, aren't you, Gi? I suppose. Maybe I am. But does that really matter here? Does me trying to tug on your very heartstrings matter here? And definitely it does not. But you know it does matter. What does matter? This moment that you and I share. If you're trying to make this romantic, then it's not gonna work here, Gi. No. That's not my goal here. I'm just saying that maybe we shouldn't be killing each other. Maybe we can be friends. You and I, Haruno. We both experienced hell in that place. And I just think maybe it'd be a lot less hell if we were friends instead of enemies. Don't you think? You know, Crow, I barely ever agree with you and the things that you do. But this, if it truly is a decision of yours, yeah. Hell yeah. Haruno would remove her blade from Crow's back, as Crow would quickly turn around, stabbing his own blade through Haruno. Haruno would cough up blood, as her wound would start to bleed, sporadically pouring out blood. From its opening, that is. You said... I am well aware of what I said, Haruno. But do you even know why they placed me in prison? No, I'm unsure why. Why did they do it? Well, I was actually sold to the prison because no prison wanted to take me. What? I had become known as single-handedly one of the kindest people in the world. I had made charities, many charities, organizations that helped those in need. I had become a high and stable member of the government in nearly every village. By government, I mean I was a high priestess in Buddhist churches. I was or rather high priest. I do not know why I said priestess. That was a narrator's voice I was trying to do, but unfortunately I confused it with Guy's voice. I did not mean to say high priestess because priestess refers to a high priestess, which is like a priest who is of the female gender, and priest refers to a priest that is of the male gender, and Crow slash Guy slash the Raven is a male. So I am so sorry about that, guys. Anyways, back to the story. I had become a Jonin in nearly every village. For my charities, I had been awarded citizenship in all lands, and I had quickly I guess you could say I had quickly risen to high positions within each and every single village that I had been welcomed into. I was of the nicest of people. I was one in a million, one in a billion even. Until one day, I betrayed every single village that had showed me kindship. And I slaughtered thousands. I'm not quite fond of it, but it was hella fun. Hella fun? What the hell? Well, at least I'm being honest here. Unlike you are now. Huh? Family business? We all know that you're the son, or rather daughter, of the 4th Hokage. You are aware the 4th Hokage has a son, right? I just mistaked you for him. How? How would you know that? It's heavy news. He's the new Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. He has been since his birth. I see. Well, isn't that interesting? Anyways, I am known for my betrayal. And all 5 of the great nations who once worshipped me for my kindness, they were the ones who put me away, locked me up for my great betrayal. They erased me from history, and as such, nobody talks of me. None of my good deeds they talked about. Yes, maybe it is true that I killed thousands, but it is also true that I saved hundreds of thousands from poverty, from hunger, and from certain death because villages tax too much for medical fees. I saved hundreds of thousands of lives, and just because I took 1,000 or even 10,000, I was seen as the murderer. I wasn't a martyr. I was never seen as a martyr after that day. I was never seen as somebody who was good in nature. After that point, I was only seen as a monster. Someone to be thrown away by the masses. Someone to be hunted down by each and every great nation. That's what. And that's why. That's why I can never be the man that I was before. Yeah. Because you became psychotic. That's the only reason why anyone that, quote-unquote, kind, because obviously I never experienced this kindness you speak of, was. That's the only way you can describe it. No. You can describe it by the loss of my own loved one. My wife. She was killed in my arms. And and nobody did a thing to help her. That was when I realized that most humans only care about their own personal gain. Most humans end up in their situations because of, simply put, their own personal error. And that's when I realized to be different, to change. Well, never mind. But I've adopted that personality. I've become the cunning and betrayal-esque person that they made me out to be. Why? Why? Why would you let them create your image just to bask in it? Just to embrace it? Well, maybe because if that's what they think I am, then, well, I ought to play the part, don't you think? Your wound? It's fine. I'm positive that you can recover from that with ease. You're an Uzumaki, Haruno. But let's say I was to be stabbed with that blade, the very blade that I stabbed you with. Actually, I know that you're a visual learner, so let me show you. You see, just as I stabbed you, I have stabbed myself. And now, since you are that visual learner I spoke of, I can continue with my example. Now let's say I stabbed myself after stabbing you. That would make things fair, wouldn't it? Right? Technically, yes. Technically, no. Visually, yes. Right? As far as the human eye can see. But on a deeper level, no. Because you are an Uzumaki and I am a crow. You see, I do not heal as fast as an Uzumaki. And an Uzumaki does not heal as slow as a crow. So when asked if it is fair or not, it is not. Right? Yeah. I suppose so. I suppose that is right. Good. And now that you know that is right, I must ask you. Am I really evil? Crow. Evil people kill thousands. So yes, you are evil. That doesn't mean that you didn't do several good things in your life, but you still killed for no reason sometimes. And you still were a really horrible person. So I can't give you the benefit of the doubt, Crow. Even if I wanted to. But you know what I can do? I can hope, for your sake, that you don't take any more lives. And the fastest and easiest way I can do that is by killing you myself. You offered me to become friends, and I actually believed you. And then you just ended up betraying me. And that feeling that I got in my gut when I realized I was betrayed, that feeling of sadness when I realized I thought you could be trusted and you broke that very trust, that hurt more than any blade could, more than any wound. Haruno's wound would close, as Crow's remained bleeding. And that means what, Haruno? That means that you die here. Now die! Haruno would disappear and reappear, this time above Crow, as Crow would disappear into a flock of crows. Crow's voice would now change. I am now a flock of crows. You cannot touch me. By injuring one of me, you injure none. Because that is what a crow is. Nothing but a bird, am I right? You're wrong. A crow is life and death. I suppose we are both right in our definitions, but I am the one who is actually a crow here. As I am a flock, I shall leave, and you shall never see me again, Haruno. I suppose that is in both of our best interest, because as my main body lies bleeding out, the flock of crows that I have become are merely fine. But I suffice that if I am to stay, that if I am to seek solitude with you, that if I am to continue to fight you, that I would only be killed. And I can't let that happen. So unfortunately, I am going to have to decline. As Haruno continued to walk/run towards the Leaf Village, it would be then that she would be stopped in her tracks yet again. This time by yet another crow. Assuming that it was Gi, she would draw her blade. Telling Gi to get lost, the crow wouldn't move at all. It didn't even blink. It seemed to have barely any life within it. It would be then that several crows formed to create a body. Haruno noticed this. Steadying her eyes and her vision, she focused in on the body that was being formed. Realizing that it did not resemble Gi's body, she prepared for battle. The body formed into Itachi Uchiha. Side note, something that should be known is that Gi has a special ability. This ability allows Gi to control time, to manipulate it even. Being a crow, and sometimes how crows manipulate, or rather not manipulate, but represent life and death, because crows kind of represent death in a way. Basically, because of the fact that they do represent death. Death is, in a way, time, because at the end of the day, we all have a time limit, an expiration date, if you will. In the future, maybe we will not, and this is just a sidetrack, so literally it doesn't matter at all, but in the future, maybe we won't have an expiration date. Maybe we will be immortalized with technology allowing us to live forever, or maybe we will be cryogenically frozen and be reanimated in the future, or literally anything like that. But, sorry, I had a yawn. And I'm not editing this video because reasons. But anyway, well, I will eventually have to edit this because I have to put in clips for whatever. I'm sidetracking. Back to the actual story. With that being said, Crow's time manipulation ability can make entire battles last months. And in this case, Crow's battle with Haruno lasted 4 months. This time, the body formed the body of Itachi Uchiha. Haruno now stood as she felt something different about Itachi's glare. Seeing the red Sharingan in his eyes, she immediately knew that it was Itachi Uchiha. Someone who she had met on the battlefield years ago. Itachi? How do you know who I am? I met you several years ago on a Konoha battlefield. I defected from the squad that we were on, and instead chose to save our comrades, who were being held at the enemy camp. I remember you. Haruno, was it? Uzumaki, I believe. Son of the 4th Hokage. You were in prison because you saved our comrades. You saved their lives when I couldn't. And for that I am eternally grateful. If I had known I'd been running into you here, then I would have brought a gift. Is that so? That really warms my heart, Itachi. But I also know News spreads fast in prison, by the way. But I also know that you slaughtered your whole entire clan, and that you're now a rogue ninja of Konoha. News truly does spread fast in prison. Well, I suppose you are also right about that. That is very much true. You're much younger than me, Itachi. So it begs me to ask, why would somebody with so much potential, like you, defect from Konoha, killing their entire clan, slaughtering them and murdering them in a frenzy? Were you drunk? Was it a drunken haze that you were in that convinced you to do such a thing? Because I do not understand it, Itachi. It's weird. You're talking to me as if we've already been in conversation before. As if you were expecting to talk to me. As if we were friends, even. If that's the case, then I didn't realize, Itachi. And I'm sorry if that offends you. Alrighty. Either way, I do have business to speak to you about. To speak with you about. You have to speak to me about something, Itachi? Yes. What do you mean? Well, your little brother, Naruto Uzumaki, I have been ordered to capture him. To capture the Nine Tails. What? Why? It would be then that Itachi would go on to explain the goal of the Akatsuki, as Haruno would be in awe. Are you serious? Yes. And at the forefront of it all, the mind leading us is whom? Is Madara Uchiha. Madara Uchiha as in, yes. Madara Uchiha as in the one that fought against and with Hashirama Senju, the first Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. What? What the hell? How? I'm not sure how, but it is true. I promise you, every word I spoke is true. I see. And why do you tell me this? Well, I owe you. It's because of you that I hold some of my own morals today. Bad morals that make you kill people of your own clan. No. As I explained, I was coerced into doing that by the elders. And by Madara himself. I see. Well, you what? I still want to know what you need from me. It's simple. I don't want to kill your little brother. He got caught in the middle of this, and I'm sure he's been through enough hardship as it is. So in exchange, if you take the Kyuubi from Naruto Uzumaki, then he can live and you can die. What? Are you insane? No, not at all. Mito Uzumaki, your great grandmother, I believe. Or just grandmother, I'm not too sure how far back she is. What about her? Well, she held the Nine Tails, right? And after the Nine Tails was later extracted from her, she still lived on for several decades. Yes, and what of it? Well, simply put, if we extract the Kyuubi from Naruto in the most subtle way possible, without disturbing the seal too much, and keeping Naruto's body as intact as possible, mixed in with his Uzumaki genes, he should be able to have a strong and happy life ahead of him. Oh, I see. And where would we put the Kyuubi? Within you. You would sacrifice yourself for your little brother. In turn, he would have a happy life. I see. Well then, I agree. But I cannot leave my brother defenseless. I'm sure my father didn't just give Naruto the Kyuubi to protect the village. Probably to defend himself as well in the future. Uncertain of how the ninja world would play out even, he gave Naruto the power to protect the Hidden Leaf Village, and to protect himself. And so, Naruto must keep at least half of the Kyuubi that's within him. Obviously, to them, this is half of the full Kyuubi, as they do not know that the Kyuubi was separated into Minato and Naruto. With that being said, it has been decided that Naruto will keep 25% of the Kyuubi, and will lose the other half. Haruto, I just said Haruto, I am sincerely sorry about that. Haruno and Itachi would enter the Leaf Village with Kisame at both of their sides. Samehada in Kisame's hand, they would rush towards Naruto. Haruno, seeing Naruto for the first time in her entire life, would shed a tear, as Naruto would be pinned down. It would be here that Itachi and Kisame would disappear, to allow Haruno to have some alone time with her little brother. Who are you? My name is Haruno Uzumaki. Uzumaki? Yes, Uzumaki. Are we related? Are you like my cousin or something? No, not exactly. Oh, well, we have the same last name. I know. That's because we're brother and sister, Naruto. What? I don't have a sister. You do, actually. But all records of my existence have been wiped, because I was sent to prison for not abandoning a member of my squad. Really? Who was the member? His name was Kakashi Hatake. Kakashi Hatake. He taught me never to abandon my own comrades. Well, then I'm glad that it paid off. But your curiosity will one day be the death of you, Naruto. Instead of asking me tactical questions, you asked me who I saved. And it wasn't just Kakashi Hatake, but he was the most important of the bunch. Next, I'm here to tell you that you have the Kyuubi within you, the Nine Tails. I'm sure you already know that, but I'm not done. Unfortunately, an organization is hunting down the Nine Tails, and they're gonna need to steal it. To steal all of it may very well kill you, so we'll only be taking half. I say will, but I'm only here because the half of the Kyuubi that they will be taking will be put into me, and I will be sacrificed. I will most likely die, and in that event, I needed to say this, that I love you, Naruto, and that I hope that you turn out to be one of the strongest shinobi in history, and maybe even one of the kindest as well. I'm sorry that you never grew up without a mother or a father, or anyone to guide you like a sister or brother, an uncle or cousin, an aunt or grandma. But I did want to say that I love you, and that you better live the best life possible. What? No, you're sacrificing yourself for me, and I have barely even... Naruto's seal would begin to be undone, as Itachi and Kisame would start to perform a sealing jutsu. Naruto, this is what must be done. And maybe, if I'm lucky, I'll survive. Haruno continued to hear our brother's screams. As eventually, exactly half of the 9 tails would be extracted from Naruto's body and placed within Haruno. Haruno would then say goodbye to a sleeping Naruto, as they would appear later that day at a Akatsuki hideout. It would be then that they would seal 25% of the 9 tails within the Geto statue. Though this would nearly break the Geto statue, as I don't know if you guys all knew this, but you do have to put in each tailed beast in the correct order, or you can risk breaking the Geto statue. And putting in the 9-tailed beast before you put in, like, the first tailed beast kind of messes things up. And thus, the Geto statue was nearly broken. Upon learning of this correct order, though, the Geto statue would never be broken like that again. And Haruno was now dead. But Naruto's alive, and that was all that mattered to Haruno. In her dying moments, she died knowing that her little brother would live. As for the rest of the story, well, a lot of things change, but for the most part, most things are the same, except for the ending. I didn't know if you guys knew that this would be a direct end, but it kind of is, so I'm going straight to the end here. As far as the end goes, everybody is placed in Madara's infinite Tsukiyomi. And eventually, when, well, Momoshiki and Kinshiki come down to Earth, Madara is there with his own power at his disposal. And with the power that the God Tree allowed him to obtain, he would defeat King Shiki and Momoshiki, continuing to live on the planet. With that being said, this truly has been What If Naruto Had a Sister, and I think it was only fitting that it ended with Naruto meeting his sister, with Naruto's sister, Haruno, whose life we followed, meeting her brother and dying. With that being said, it was an ironic twist and maybe even an unsettling one for some of you. You know, meeting your brother and then immediately dying afterwards. But I definitely liked recording this What If, and I pushed it off for a very long time, so it was very urgent for me to get done. What I mean by that is I literally recorded half of this What If on, like, maybe, like, September something, and I just got back to finish the other, like, 40 minutes, 50 minutes on October. I am not sure what day of October it is, but it is past October 15, I think. Anyways, with that being said, this has been Rami X. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons. That would be deeply appreciated. And Rami X out.